In the following message, you will listen to the Holy Lamb on his second coming, briefly exposing the malefic and deceitful indoctrination pertaining to man-made climate change. Don't forget to like this video and to subscribe to our channel, besides sharing with your friends and family.
The fraud of global warming, later on with all evidence against it renowned as climate change caused by man-made CO2, which barely constitutes 0.01% of the total CO2 in the atmosphere, seeks to plunder us through confiscatory taxes after ruining our nations through the illegitimate debt of the Eurozone, amounting to over 100% of the GDP, and the parasitic kleptocracy of corrupt politicians on the international finances payroll, thus devastating our industry and agriculture, and finally putting Western European countries on their knees in the Orwellian web of the European Union by the IMF, Soros, and company, being clearly inspired by the former Soviet Union, besides seeking at a latter stage to impose world taxation via the United Nations, achieving in this way their sinister socialist world government. Ice ages have generally occurred approximately every 100,000 years, and global warmings every 10,000 years. There being geological evidence that in the past, Greenland became covered by tropical vegetation and that it was completely green, hence its name. Likewise, for an extended period of time in the Middle Ages, the average temperature in Europe was higher than it is today. The GIEC, in their latest study on climate hysteria, dubbed SR15, make a fool of themselves, showing computer models associated with the industrial period while concealing prehistoric warmings in order to make it appear as an unprecedented catastrophic event, or by mistaking on purpose Fahrenheit degrees with Celsius in the city of Apto Udo in Colombia displaying nothing less than 81.5 degrees Celsius, or by installing their main CO2 monitoring station on top of a Hawaii volcano, or by making up computer simulations related to periods such as the 19th century at a time when there was hardly any precise data to match their delusional theories, or by ignoring the fact that temperatures on different media are not fungible, as land and sea water have a heat capacity which differ by a factor of 2, meaning land warms faster, or by ignoring the fact that the levels of CO2 on Earth have decreased for 600 million years straight, and let's not forget that CO2 is an inert gas essential to life, or that atmospheric pressure, decomposition of organic matter, volcanic eruptions, convection currents, water vapor, and clouds in general, the Earth's tilt, etc. contribute way more than human activities to climate variations, or that glaciers in the southern hemisphere are growing, or that polar bears, contrary to what they rant about, are becoming more numerous in that area of the planet as well as seals, or by ignoring that in the past, neither did the ozone hole scorch any countries, nor did the acid rain devastate the world's forests. Nor are we submerged in ocean water as charlatan extraordinaire Al Gore predicted for 2018. Nor do we drive horse-drawn carriages as the peak oil doomsday jumping jacks predicted in the 1970s, and so on. Parallel to all this, we increasingly witness airplanes spraying the skies on a large part of the planet through a modified cloud seeding technique that, besides profanating our divine right to enjoy the sun on a clear day and increasing the number of respiratory diseases among the population at an alarming rate, it generates a screen of diffuse artificial clouds which make temperatures rise together with an unpleasant greenhouse effect. All in the name of climate hysteria, weather modification, and covert military experimentation. Is NATO's current budget increased by $500 billion, as mentioned by US President Donald Trump in December after pressuring European countries for their low contributions, related to this in any way? Mr. Trump should realize all these shady supranational organizations such as the United Nations, NATO, the EU, the IMF, the World Bank, the World Health Organization, etc., seek the establishment of a socialist, Orwellian, totalitarian world government. Antithesis of what any true patriot struggles for. So withdrawal from these institutions is essential. Together with the root of all these evils, that's none other than the quasi-private Federal Reserve System. Only in this way shall we achieve a truly free, prosperous, and peaceful world.